how to get better at creating your own reality. Throughout your life, you have experienced everything in your life through the filter of your mind. The stream of thoughts is constant and it's just always running, and you perceive all experience through this filter that has been created throughout your life. And as you live more and more days, you accumulate more and more definitions, perceptions of the world and yourself, descriptions, judgments, beliefs, identities. And this filter gets thicker and thicker and thicker, more and more layers. So everything that you view as life is actually filtered through all these layers, and then an aspect of what is actually life is what you consider to be overall life. Now you get into create your own reality teachings on YouTube. You learn about the law of attraction, and these teachings add more layers on top of your already existing layers of how you view the world, the glasses through which you view the world. And so this makes a thicker layer of the filter. And we wonder, why are we still struggling to create our own reality when we have learned all these new empowering, amazing belief systems, and we've learned the techniques, we've learned the practices, we've implemented the practices. But why are we still failing to create the life that we want, to create the self, the person that we want? So the secret to getting better at creating your own reality, really the only thing that can help you get better at creating your own reality, is actually not another technique or another belief. It is actually the unraveling of all of these layers. And that might sound pretty intimidating. It might sound difficult. However, you can do it right now, in this present moment, right here, as you're watching this video. You have to bring into your life the dimension of presence. You have the power, the ability right now, as you're watching this video, to remove the filter through which you view life, through which you have viewed life your entire existence on this planet. And you do that through presence, by being here totally right now and letting go of what is in your mind right now, letting go of whatever you're thinking of, letting go of all the judgments, all the thoughts, the beliefs, and simply just be with what is. You don't have to do anything. This is not a process of doing. It is actually the opposite. It is the process of not doing. You don't have to do something to make your thoughts disappear. You actually have to do the opposite. Realize that Thinking takes effort. Presence takes no effort. When you're present, you just are in this moment. You are just being. But if you are to maintain this filter through which you perceive everything, that takes effort. So right now, I invite you, as you're watching this video, bring your full attention away from the intellectual activity into the now. Ask yourself, who is the one behind the thoughts, behind the beliefs, behind this filter, watching this video right now? Who is the one listening to these words? What exists behind those thoughts? What remains once you just let everything go? What remains? That presence, that awareness. Start to come back to that awareness. And stay there as long as you can before another thought arises. And experience that gap, that presence, more and more and more. That unraveling. Experience that more and more and more. It is that presence that you need more and more access to create your own reality more effectively. Instead of another belief system, instead of more techniques, instead of more teachers, what you need is to access that presence. All of the reality transurfing, all of the law of attraction videos that you watch on YouTube, all of the empowerment, create your own reality philosophies that you have adopted, they're great and all. They will help you. But they are actually just a bridge over to presence. You will realize that the more you access this gap, you don't need any philosophies, you don't need any beliefs, everything flows from that state perfectly. So this unraveling process is what you need the most. It is the secret to creating your own reality more and more. Because when you are perceiving your entire life through this filter of mind, you might think you are creating your own reality, but you're not. And if you don't believe me, then notice yourself throughout the day, notice your thoughts, and ask yourself, did I choose to think these thoughts? And the answer will most likely be no. And even if you do choose to think the thoughts that you think, you'll soon notice, if you are attentive, if you are aware enough, that thoughts are a slippery slope. And soon the thoughts that you chose to think turn into thoughts that you didn't necessarily fully, willingly choose to think. They might still be positive in nature, but you didn't choose to think them. They just happened to you. And so if all these thoughts are just always happening to you and occupying your mental space, and you can't let go of them, do you really think that you are the one creating your own reality? Or is it simply the thoughts that are in your mind that are creating your own reality? So again, what you need is not another belief system, another YouTube video, another philosophy. What you need is presence. All of those things will help you actually just get to presence. So you can use them, feel free. But understand that the most important aspect of creating your own reality, the most important aspect of life is just being. Not doing anything, not creating more layers of this filter, but actually just being. And when you are in this state, life flows perfectly, effortlessly. Matter of fact, the more you access this state, the more your problems will just melt away. Because the problems come forth from that filter, that constant ongoing filter. It distorts your actual real state, your natural state, which is this presence, this being. And all of those worries, those fears, those anxiety thoughts just on loop create those problems. And the more you access the state, the more you unravel those and just access this state, the more you will come to a realization that your problems have magically just begun to disappear somehow. The more you access this state, the easier it will be for you to realize your intentions. When you have this filter on with all of its layers just constantly operating, and you create new intentions on top of all those layers, you'll see that they won't really make a difference, because what you're doing is you're adding an intention on top of all these layers that might contradict that intention, and it just gets lost in all those thoughts that you don't even control yourself, that you didn't even choose to think. So it doesn't make any difference. You're not creating your own reality in that state. But the more you access this pure state, your natural state, your true state, the state that lies behind this filter, from that state, if you introduce an intention, it is much more likely to be realized. It has a lot more power to it. Right now even, you might be in that other state again. You're just constantly thinking and you're perceiving this information through those filters. Let it go. Simply just come back to me right now, right here. Activate that deeper presence. Just be here completely. Nothing else matters right now. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to think about anything. You don't have to project a future. You don't have to consider the past. Simply just be here right now. You may have heard of many athletes talk about being in the zone. And when they're in the zone, they just play incredibly. They do things that are humanly impossible. It's almost perfect what they do, the way they perform in the zone. What is the zone? It is when they are playing their sport or performing in whatever they're performing in through that state of presence, deep presence. So the basketball player is not thinking about how to perfectly shoot this shot. He is not playing the game through the filter of mind, through all those layers, through all those anxieties, through fears, through all of these belief systems. He is just so tuned in. He's just so in the zone, in that state of pure presence, that life flows so perfectly that he's able to do incredible things he could not have thought of doing through his small self, through all those filters. So when you access this state, your energy flows differently. You come to life. And your action becomes perfect because life, nature, in essence, is perfect. It is only our own layers, the filter, the distortions that ruin that perfection. So, I know we went deep in this video, but I invite you to start letting go of some of those layers. If that scares you, you don't even have to do it permanently. But throughout your day, again and again, come back into that state of presence. Again, it's not something that you have to do. It's actually something that you have to, it's the opposite of doing. It is actually coming to a full stop and letting go of all of that intellectual activity and simply just be. Notice your surroundings. Breathe them in. Become completely empty. Just view the world, but don't think about the world. Don't believe the world to be a different way. Just view it and have no opinions of it, no judgments of it, just be. If you've never experienced this state before, I don't want you to be discouraged. It's not something that is difficult. You might think it's difficult because you've lived your entire life in that other state, and that's okay. But the more you start to practice this, the easier it will become for you to access this state. It is actually a current goal of mine to live most of my day, as much as I possibly can, if all of it if possible, in this state. Right now I'm making this video in this state so that I could be of greatest value to you. And when you leave this video, know that it is not another technique that you need, another belief system, more information, more teachers. What you need is that presence. The more presence that you bring into your life, the more your problems will melt away, the greater your intention will become, and the more your life will flow effortlessly, perfectly. It is this state that will help you create your own reality, not more layers on that filter. So right now with me, access the state once more before we end the video. Be fully with me right here, right now. Simply listen to my words. Any thought you may be having, just let it go. Take your attention away from it and come back into the now. Listen to the sound of your breath. Notice how your body feels. Feel the surface that you are currently sitting on. Unravel the layers. Practice the state more and more throughout the day. Constantly come back to it. Every single time you notice yourself thinking, you are present in that state. So prolong that. Constantly let it go. Just unravel, undo, come clean. And give yourself to this presence, this state of pure intelligence. And just be. Let me know if you have any questions about this in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about this. I'm giving you permission to think. But that's all for today. I'll see you in the next video.